With Pokemon Legends EA bringing back Mega Evolutions, rumors are swirling that we'll be seeing 27 brand new Megas added to the game. One of them, Mega Dragonite, is already confirmed, and with that reveal, fans are starting to believe that this leak might actually be the real deal. Over the next 4 weeks, I'll be breaking down every single one of these alleged Mega Evolutions, redesigning their stats, typings, and abilities to see how they can fit in the modern meta of Pokemon. This is the second week, and if you want to watch the first week's video, links in the description down below. While you're at it, liking, commenting, and subscribing would be very much appreciated. As a quick refresher, every Mega Evolution gets an increase of 100 base stats, but not every Pokemon benefits equally, like if we look at Latios stat gains compared to Beedrill's. Now, let's move on to the first Mega. Our first rumored Mega is the Frost Queen herself, Froslass. Froslass is not seen at all in Scarlet and Violet anymore, with her tier being ZU, which is the lowest tier in Smogon. This is because the only thing that's going for Froslass is its speed stat, and all of the other stats are mediocre at best for Froslass. Froslass can take advantage of its 110 speed stat with the measly 80 base stat in both attack and special attack. Even though Froslass is a special attacker, it still has equal attack and special attack, which makes Froslass kind of awkward because 16% of its stats are in its attack stat, the stat that Froslass rarely ever uses. Also, if we look at its typing, Ice and Ghost, it doesn't provide much defensive capabilities, but it is a very offensive type. Froslass's abilities do not help much in battle either because Snow Cloak needs the snow setup to boost Froslass's evasion by 20%, and even that makes it an RNG game, which an RNG game isn't that bad, but if the opponent does land a hit, I really don't see how Froslass is going to live because of her below average defense stats and HP stat. And the other ability Froslass gets is Curse Body, which has a 30% chance to disable the last attack. And again, I don't think Curse Body is the best ability out there. Stats, typing, and abilities all combined, it makes Froslass look like a very frail, harmless ice princess. But most of these things can be changed with Mega Evolution. Let's first take a look at its ability. I want to give Froslass the Snow Warning ability. The Snow Warning ability fits Froslass perfectly because Froslass is a spirit associated with icy mountains and snowy regions, which is often depicted as ethereal and haunting in wintry landscapes. Moving on to lore to gameplay, by giving Froslass the Snow Warning ability would first allow it to use Blizzard with no worries of missing it, and also Snow increases the defense stat of ice types by 1.5 times, so we would not need to touch the defense stat because Froslass will be more physically bulky naturally in the snow, and therefore we can focus on other stats that need improvement like special attack, special defense, and speed. Speaking of these improvements, let's take a look at them. I'm going to remove 30 in Froslass's attack and give Froslass 40 in speed, making it 150 base speed alongside Calyrex Shadow Rider and also both forms of Electrode, and give Froslass 70 in special attack, making it 150 special attack alongside Pokemon like Aegislash, Reshiram, Palkia, and Dialga. With the last 20 base stats, I will send it over to Froslass's special defense, making it a bit more bulky on the special side, making up for the lack of base HP it has. As for Froslass's design, I would like it to have a more ethereal appearance, kind of similar to the Komodo girls in Heart Gold Soul Silver, but more icy and more ghostly. She could appear more translucent with flowing and wispy elements that make her seem like she's gliding through the air rather than walking. For the last of our starter trio, let's take a look at Emboar. I think Emboar has a potential to be a great Pokemon, but similar to Rampardos, falls short on the stats department. Also, I would like to note that Emboar's species is Mega Fire Pig Pokemon, so this Pokemon was bound to get a Mega Evolution at some point. Emboar, like all starters, has the Blaze ability, which is not that great in competitive Pokemon and casual playthroughs. And as a hidden ability, it has the Reckless ability. The Reckless ability is incredibly good on Emboar because it has 3 of the strongest recoil moves in the game in Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, and Head Smash. And with the whopping 123 base attack stat, this Pokemon can be a force to be reckoned with. Aside from the fact that its defense, special defense, and speed stat is far below average. All the stats that Emboar wants in these stats is stuck in the special attack stat, which is 100 base stat, which an Emboar rarely even uses the special attack stat. Emboar also has the firefighting typing. The firefighting typing is very strong offensively because it provides coverage against grass, bug, ice, steel, normal, rock, and dark. But the typing comes to a fault when looking at it defensively. It is weak to some of the most common typings in the game like water, ground, flying, and psychic. Emboar also surprisingly has a very wide moveset, learning crazy coverage moves like Wild Charge, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Poison Jab, and even Scald for some reason. I think Emboar could be a very broken Pokemon if done wrong. So let's first take a look at its ability. As much as I would like to keep the Reckless ability because it's such a good ability for Emboar, I cannot do that under the rules of the Mega Evolution. There are two choices I'm thinking about giving Emboar: Mold Breaker or Iron Fist. I will give Emboar the Iron Fist ability because I think Iron Fist fits more thematically because it aligns perfectly with his physical brawler design. When looking at the stats of Emboar, there are a lot of improvements I can make. First, we'll remove 30 in special attack and 15 in speed. I'm removing 15 in speed because I think this Pokemon can take down Calyrex Ice Rider, one of the top restricted Pokemon in the meta right now, with his typing, and also being the same speed as Ice Rider under Trick Room. But at the same time, outspeed Calyrex Ice Rider outside of Trick Room if base Emboar is used. By removing a total of 45 stats in special attack and speed, we now have 145 stats to give Emboar. I'll give Emboar 47 in its attack, making it a whopping 170 base attack alongside Kieran Black and Garchomp Mega. The remaining 98 stats will be distributed evenly into Emboar's defenses, making both of Emboar's defenses 114 base stat. As for the design, I would like Emboar to return on all 4 legs, similar to Tepig, emphasizing a more feral and primal appearance. This posture would make him look more like a true fiery boar, highlighting his raw strength and animalistic instincts rather than a humanoid fighter. We will now look at Excadrill. Personally, Excadrill is one of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 5 because it's such a strong Pokemon in the playthrough and its design is really cool. When looking at Excadrill stat-wise, it has good HP and attack but really lacks everywhere else. Grounded Steel is actually a decent typing because it has 2 immunities and many resistances thanks to the Steel typing, and only 3 weaknesses in Water, Fire, and Fighting. As for Excadrill's abilities, 2 are situational with the sand having to be up, with both Sand Rush, which doubles your speed in the sandstorm, and Sand Force, which increases rock, ground, and steel moves in the sand. Excadrill's hidden ability is Mold Breaker, which prevents ability immunities. So if Excadrill uses Earthquake on a Rotom Heat with Levitate, he will be able to hit it. Excadrill has a surprisingly wide moveset with Throat Chop, Excessive Poison Jab, and Brick Break, only scratching the surface of what it can learn. So how do we balance Excadrill? I think with the Mega, Excadrill has the potential to be one of the strongest Pokemon in the game because it already has 2 high stats with very high HP and attack. And since HP cannot be changed with Mega Evolutions, having a naturally high base HP stat is really good. Speaking of stats, let's first take a look at Excadrill's stats. Steel-type Pokemon have a high defense stat, mediocre special defense stat, and a low speed stat. And I exactly want to follow that theme with Excadrill. I will give Excadrill 50 in defense, making its defense stat 110, 20 in attack, making its attack stat 155, and 15 in special defense, making the special defense stat 80, and 15 in speed, making the speed stat 103. Just 1 stat above base form Garchomp. To make up for the lack of base stats I put in special defense, I will give Excadrill the Sandstream ability, which will give Excadrill 50% special defense boost when under the Sandstorm. Sandstream as an ability fits Excadrill perfectly because it's a mole Pokemon that tunnels through the earth, naturally disturbing the ground wherever it goes, and constantly whipping up sand and debris. As for the design, I would love Game Freak to emphasize more of its notable features like its drill-like hands and its mohawk drill on its head. Let's next take a look at Scolipede. Scolipede is already an okay-ish Pokemon, but really lacks in the sap department. It has a really good ability in Speed Boost, and an okay-ish typing in Bug and Poison, and not that bad of a moveset. Only thing I'm kinda sad about with this Mega Evolution is I can't change Scolipede's atrocious 60 base HP stat. I think that Scolipede with the Mega can be really scary if Game Freak does it right. Looking at Scolipede's stats, I'm actually not gonna change its speed stat at all. With the Speed Boost ability, I can definitely see people using Protect on the first turn before Mega-ing Scolipede to outspeed almost all Pokemon, just like how people do with Sharpedo and Mega Sharpedo. I think that Scolipede needs major improvements in its other stats. I will give Scolipede 60 into its attack stat, making it 160 alongside Pokemon like Slacking, Regigigas, and Hoopa Unbound, and 20 into each of its defensive stats, therefore having 108 and 89 defensive respectively. As for an ability, I don't think Speed Boost is a good option because one boost in speed is likely to outspeed most Pokemon. I would like to give Scolipede a more aggressive and offensive ability. Just like the other Bug Poison counterpart, Beedrill, I will be giving Scolipede the Adaptability ability. Adaptability makes sense for Scolipede lore-wise because it is a highly specialized predator honed to strike with maximum efficiency. Because it is a centipede, it has hundreds of legs and a venomous body allowing it to swarm prey with precision, so it naturally focuses its power where it counts. Scolipede does learn some coverage moves, but Scolipede probably won't go astray from his bread and butter, which is spamming Mega Horn and Poison Jab, which is further influenced by the Adaptability ability. As for Scolipede's design, I'd like Game Freak to emphasize the features Scolipede already has: more legs, bigger, sharper horns and tails, and now with the color change, it finally looks like Scolipede has some armor. We now take a look at the gangster Pokemon Scrafty. Scrafty is actually such a good Pokemon that is held by its stats. Its pre-evolution, Scraggy, actually was utilized a bit during Regulation I in VGC because it is slower than one of the strongest restricted Pokemon in the game, Calyrex Ice Fighter, therefore making it faster under Trick Room. Scrafty has 2 great abilities in Moxie and Intimidate, and even a situationally great ability in Shed Skin. The Dark Fighting typing isn't the worst typing aside from the 4x weakness to Fairy. Dark and Fighting have a really good offensive presence. Scrafty also has a very wide range of moves in its move pool, just like most fighting type Pokemon, but Scrafty really can use that absolute ocean of a move pool with a measly 90 attack and an atrocious 58 speed. When Scrafty Mega Evolves, we will make the stat distribution very simple. Scrafty already has great defenses at 115 apiece, but also a very low HP stat that I can't change at 65. We will give Mega Scrafty 60 into attack, making its attack stat 150, and 40 into speed, making its speed stat now 108 alongside Infernape, Galvantula, and the Swords of Justice. As for an ability, unfortunately it will be a bit of a downgrade because Intimidate is one of, if not the single best ability in the game. I think just like Emboar, Iron Fist fits pretty well with Scrafty because its fists are its primary tools it uses in brawls and street fights. This ability fits Scrafty's scrappy gang-like persona, showing that it relies on strength and technique rather than fancy moves or tricks. Another ability I can see on Scrafty is the Scrappy ability, which to be honest I don't mind giving Scrafty either, because I'm pretty sure every single other Mega Pokemon has a unique ability from other Mega Pokemon. As for Scrafty's design, I would like to see something more rebel and gangster-like. I think that Scrafty having its hood on would be cool, and it would also be cool for the evil team to use this Pokemon, and having the evil team logo splattered everywhere on Scrafty's clothes. Let's now take a look at the electric eel Pokemon Eelektross. Eelektross is a very unique Pokemon because it's the only Pokemon now to have no weaknesses thanks to its Levitate ability and its solo electric typing. Eelektross learns a surprisingly good amount of moves like Giga Drain, Flamethrower, Knockoff, U-Turn, Acid Spray, Acrobatics, and even Crunch, which to be honest only scratches the surface of what Eelektross can learn. While Eelektross learns a variety of coverage moves spanning both physical and special attack, this versatility doesn't matter if it doesn't translate into reliable performance. Looking at its stats, Eelektross' strongest attribute is its attack stat, while the defense stats are mediocre and its speed stat is relatively low. With the Mega Evolution, everything can change. A lot of electric type Pokemon are special attackers, but I do want to give more love to the physical attacking electric type Pokemon, and therefore will give 60 into Eelektross' attacking stat, making it 175 attack, just shy of Mega Rayquaza's ridiculous 180 base attack stat. The other 40 stats will be split evenly into both defense stats, making defense and special defense both 100. I decided not to give Eelektross any speed because its speed stat is already atrocious, and to make it even somewhat decent, I would need to invest at minimum 60 into speed. So instead, Mega Eelektross can look to be a monster under Trick Room with one of the lowest base speeds of a fully evolved Pokemon. I also didn't want to remove anything from Eelektross' special attack because I wanted Eelektross to still be able to use his special utility moves like Electro Web, Acid Spray, and Volt Switch and deal a sizable amount of damage. As for Eelektross' ability, I would like to give it an upgraded version of Levitate, the Earth Eater ability. As Eelektross Mega evolves, so will its ability to handle and adapt to ground type moves, healing him instead. As for Eelektross' design, I would love to make it more serpent-like, leaning harder into its eel and serpent design. Its current body shape looks like a floating predator, but extending its length, streamlining its body, and giving it more flowing, natural, serpent-like movements would emphasize its serpentine nature. Last but not least, let's take a look at Chandelure. Honestly, I think alongside Excadrill, this could be one of the most broken Mega Evolutions. Chandelure already has a crazy 145 special attack, and good defense, and even good special defense. The only problem with Chandelure's stats is its speed, which is very mediocre, and its low base HP stat that I cannot change. Fire and Ghost typing is actually a pretty good typing because it is a very offensive typing, but at the same time is weak to some of the most common Pokemon in the game, like Water, Ground, Ghost, and Dark. As for the moveset, Chandelure surprisingly has all the coverage he needs with Psychic, Dark Pulse, and Energy Ball. When looking at Chandelure's abilities, I would say 3 are good in their own right, but 1 stands above the rest. Flash Fire. Though Chandelure is already resistant to fire type moves, I think that having an immunity as an ability is great no matter what, and also raising fire type moves by 50%. Actually, I take that back. Except for you, Rotom Flying with the Levitate ability, redundant ability. So how do we balance Mecha Chandelure? I want to first talk about its ability. I will be giving Chandelure the Shadow Tag ability. Game Freak originally planned for Chandelure's hidden ability to be Shadow Tag in Generation 5, but ultimately decided against it because they felt like it'd be too overpowered. Giving Chandelure Shadow Tag as a callback feels like a fun nod to what could have been in the Black and White era. As for Chandelure's stats, I will give 20 in special attack, making it 160 special attack, being the exact same as Calyrex Shadow Rider, 55 in speed, making it 135 speed, on par with Miraidon, Koraidon, and Chiampao, and 10 into special defense, making it 100, and also the remaining 5 in defense stat. As for Chandelure's design, I'd like to make it more closely resemble an actual Chandelure, while still retaining its ghostly, eerie look, just like this fan art that was created by CardnlH. And that's it for the week. Let me know how I did and how you would change these Mega Pokemon. Over the next 2 weeks, I'll be changing the other 13 alleged Mega Evolutions. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe as it helps the channel out. And until next time, peace.